San ikamat, where we stop yet, below West Papua. Sun go down, sun ikamat,
Talofalava, Tene Costo, Maloelele, Kirana, Pulavanaka, Faka'alofa, Lahiatu. Wah, wah, wah. Welcome. Today is the day I celebrate my daughter's 8th birthday. Today, I'm deeply saddened by the executions. Let us seize the day and use this as a day for action, and that something good can come from this execution. Today, the ABC News, Mr. Abbott stated, it was a dark moment for Australia. The Australian government has recalled our ambassador in Indonesia, and the decision to continue to suspend high-level ministerial visits in both directions. Today, Free West Papua Action Group WA will launch their one-by-one campaign petition to the Australian government. Yes!
My name is Jane Newhouse. I'm one of the members of the Free West Papua Action Group WA, and today I was the MC.
What is the focus of today's protest?
The focus of today is open and free access to West Papua for the media, for the international journalists, for humanitarians, and for the UN to be able to come in and report on what's going on in West Papua. There's a genocide that's happening, and the Indonesian government is hiding it from us. And the people are now starting to understand what's going on, and they're rising up. And we're appalled by the situation over there. So we're standing in solidarity with them.
How are you planning to communicate your message to the Australian government and the Indonesian government?
Through many ways, but mostly to just, we want to raise awareness within the community, and then, one by one as a community we come together and we start putting pressure on the Indonesian government, we put pressure on the Australian government to start changing foreign policy, to just to start making some changes, reasonable changes. We're not making unreasonable requests, we're not asking for self-determination today. All we're asking is that there is allowed to be free and open access to Papua to report on what's happening there.
Free West Papua! Free West Papua! Free West Papua!
It now gives me the great pleasure to call on Uncle Ben Kumara Taylor to welcome us to country and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. I welcome you to know our country and Wajak. Today, as we stand on the dreaming track of my people, the bloodline and the song lines that run through this country for thousands of years. And me, as an Aboriginal elder in my middle 70s, have suffered for 60 years on this country, racism and oppression by the Europeans, by the colonizers. They're still here, and my heart goes out to the people of Papua for the suffering they go. Just like us, we identify very strong. And as I watched the TV this morning, I saw them 2 young fellows being executed. And I said, well, they did have justice when my people committed a crime here. They were hung from the nearest tree. And the genocide is still here. So us Aboriginal people will stand, Noongar people will stand beside the Papua people and the downtrodden, and always be with them in their fight for justice.
Only like the freedom, lowest Papua, oh, what below you mean.
My name is Joy Madden from the Free West Papua campaign, Perth, Australia. I'm here because I am campaigning for the freedom of West Papua. At this time, Indonesian government is not allowing West Papua international journalists into West Papua.
Do you think that protests like this may further strain relations between Australia and the Indonesian government and make your message harder to get across?
I don't think so, because in fact I think this protest is going to wake up our government to know that we are dealing with an Indonesian regime, a government that is not listening to the voice of the people. Our government has pleaded with the Indonesian government for the clemency of these two Bali Naidua. But I would say that our protest is to wake up our government to say that, hey, look here, you are pleading for the life of two Australian people. We beg you to also look at the genocide of 500,000 West Papuans that have been killed by the Indonesian government for no mistake of their own.
Free West Papua! No! Free West Papua! No! Free West Papua! No!
Do you feel as though the Abbott government's decision to withdraw the ambassador to Indonesia is appropriate?
I believe personally that it's a good thing, that we can work in unity with the other people that are against what's happening in Indonesia. We can come together as an Australian community, as a people, and continue pushing forward and moving forward to fight against what the Indonesian government are doing. And what's happened with the Bali Nine is a clear example of how violent the Indonesian government are.
Freedom! Freedom!
My name is Alpheus. I'm from West Papua. Myself, I actually been doing some activists in West Papua, and I came here in 2009. But before that, I've been hunted by Indonesian military and here Indonesian police, and therefore I was in the jungle for 2 years. And likely that I came over in Australia and as asylum seeker. So I'm here. I've been here as a political exile in Australia, but lucky that I got the permanent residency last year.
A key issue raised at the rally was that of the Lombok Treaty, an agreement forged between the then Howard government and the government of former Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono in 2006. This agreement was heralded as providing a framework for cooperation between Australia and Indonesia.
The Lombok Treaty, that is Indonesian government and also Australian government, they made an agreement that to those who West Papuan coming across Australia as refugees, they say no accepted, because Indonesian said that West Papuan are not accepted because we are treating West Papuan equally, but it is not true.
Would you like the Australian government to abolish the Lombok Treaty?
Absolutely, absolutely. Australian government and Australian self is equal our doorstep and also brothers and sisters. And I do believe that our Australian government are the one who would help our struggle.
Would you like to see the abolition of the Lombok Treaty?
Yes, certainly. Certainly, that's a key thing in this, because it's basically allowing genocide to happen. It's basically saying an agreement between the Indonesian and the Australian government, saying, I'll just block my ears, turn a blind eye and pretend I don't know what's happening over there. So it's their way out legally to allow a genocide to occur.
Don't have to listen to Indonesia, because they are the one who genocide as Papuans, and they are telling to government, Australian government, that treating West Papuan equally, but it's not true. So I do really strongly believe that the Australian community, society and churches will help West Papua.